Jerry Nard.
All right, what's going on, my people, and welcome to the Sn95 Power channel. So today I'm going to kind of mix in this old video with this new video. Now, there's been a lot of stuff going on with this car this year and the past couple of years. So check out the playlist. I think a lot of that is On3 Turbo Saga on my playlist, and that's kind of been plaguing me for a couple of years. We finally closed the case on that On3 Turbo Saga. A couple of things that was going on that was giving me that header glow. It was a combination of intake manifold leak, a couple of leaks in the hot side, some clamps not being tightened, tighten all that stuff up, and haven't had any issues with header glowing. But I, in the process of trying to figure out why the hair was glowing, I removed my wastegate spring. And first half of this video is just me disassembling the gate and going over how you do that with a precision. I believe that's a 38 millimeter gate. That's what these 94, 95 On3 turbo kits come with. Not with the precision, but they come with a little janky gate. So if you do get one of these kits, first thing you do is throw that gate away because they don't hold at all. Like, I remember having a 1-bar spring on it when I first got it. I put a 1-bar spring in there and it would peak to 10 and it would kind of settle down at 7. So they were garbage. So in the process of trying to troubleshoot the header glowing problem, I changed springs. And in doing so, changing springs, I didn't update my AEM True Boost settings. Now, the AEM True Boost is basically just a digital boost controller. The good thing about it, there's two good things. You can increase your boost from whatever base spring you have. So if you have a 5-pound spring, basically you can almost double the spring of whatever spring you have in your gate. So if you have 5-pound spring, in theory, you can basically double that to 10 pounds with the configuration I have right now. There's a bunch of different configurations that you can do to try to increase that even further. But the way I have mine configured, it's basically, you can multiply that spring by 2 is it really my 2? My 6th grade math is throwing me off. But basically you can double your spring rate. And by doing so, I changed the spring, I dropped it down, and I have to go through and change my True Boost settings because on the previous settings that I've had it, based off the last spring, the True Boost oscillates. And in the video that AME has on how to set up these True Boosts, they tell you when you get that oscillation of the turbo, basically the boost is fluttering. It's almost like a flutter. What you need to do is to drop the settings on that True Boost. And basically there's really only 2 settings that I use. There's the spring setting and there's the duty cycle setting. So right now I have the spring setting set at 9, and I'm going to drop that down to like 5. The duty cycle is at 10%. I'm going to let that stay there, but I'm going to play around with all these settings. And first part of this video is me removing the spring out the wastegate. Second part of the video is me actually driving the car, kind of playing around with the boost controller. So hope you like it. Give me some feedback of what y'all think and check it out. So I wanted to get this on camera in case you guys never seen this before. This is a wastegate. Now this is off from my On3 turbo kit. So a word of advice: if you buy an On3 turbo kit, those gates are known to suck. I remember when I first bought the kit, I was only able to peak 10 PSI, even though I had a 1-bar spring in there, and it wouldn't hold no more than 7 PSI. So I believe this is a 38 millimeter wastegate. Some people believe that's too small, and actually I think On3 believes these are too small because the new 9495 On3 kit has dual wastegates available as an option. So the issue I'm having right now is I'm pegging my PMAS mass airflow sensor. I took these BBK fuel lines off. I was troubleshooting, so I took it off. Got the stock Sn95 rails on. Those are, quote, technically good for 550 river horsepower if you're running 93 octane. Running E85, it's a little bit sketchier. It's you need more volume, and those stock lines aren't going to be sufficient for 550. So I have to decrease the power on this thing. Now, it's a couple of ways you can decrease power on the turbo car. The most easiest way is just to go to a lighter spring. Actually, I don't know what I have in here. I think I have a 12-pound spring combination, but what I actually see on my gauge is 14. You know, the old saying, boost is a measurement of resistance. So even though it's a 12-pound combination spring on here, it actually takes 14 pounds to open it. So I'm gonna pull this off, and it's fairly simple. You have 6 bolts. So one thing you don't want to lose is this fire ring right here. This helps create a seal. Without this, you can see right here, you might not have any boost, or you'll have low boost. Hey, I had to stop and find the proper size, but the way you do this is just break these bolts. Now, depending on how big a spring you have is how much pressure you're going to have on the back side of this cap. So be cautious as you loosen this, because this is under pressure. If I would have had like 20 something PSI worth of springs behind this, then I would probably use like a vise or something, but with just a little combination I have right now, it's not bad. So also what I like to do is when I take these off, I like to try to put them back in the same position. So as I'm getting closer to get this taking this off, I can feel the pressure of the spring. So I'm using one hand to push down on this. Like I said, this is only like a 12-pound spring combination. Would not be able to do this if I had like 20 pounds worth of spring on this. Maybe some of you guys could, because you guys are strong like the Hulk. So now, like I said, I think this is an 8 and this is a 2. So I'm going to take this little 2 out. First, let me go to the spring chart and just double check. All right, so right now I had these 2 springs in here, and this combination was 11.5. I have a electronic boost controller, so I'm going to add the 6 and the 2. Like I said, I know y'all, a lot of y'all are probably saying, dude, that's baby boost. But I'm not buying a new mass airflow meter this season. And honestly, I don't feel like putting these bigger fuel rails back on. It's mid
August right now. We really only have a couple of more months before I put the car up. So I'm gonna send it like this, and I'm not gonna worry about it. So 6 plus 1.5, 7.5. Car will probably peak around 9-ish, just off the gate. Now, like I said, I have a True Boost. If I really want to push this up to a bar, I can still push up to the bar. I'm not gonna worry about that. So let's just clean this diaphragm up a little bit. The seat. Let's see how that works. Inside is got multi-grooves in it, so it'll sit in there. See how I got that in that groove right there. Kind of came out. Make sure that's back in there. Still a lot of pressure on this, so don't think it's a cakewalk. So you always want to make sure a couple of things, that you have that fire ring in there, and you want to make sure you have your gasket. All right, so let's throw this back on and we'll take it out for a cruise. All right, I'm gonna try to, I don't have my gimbal with this, so I'm gonna try to get this as good as I can footage-wise. So to get in the program role for the True Boost, you press and hold the 2 buttons. So that's the program roll. You press and hold both buttons again to toggle through the screens. I'm looking for SPR. That's for spring. So right now we're at this 9, it oscillates. So I have I think an 8-pound spring in there. And according to the instructions, you know, you have to play around with it. So I'm gonna drop this all the way down to 5. So that's 3 less than the gate spring. I have the duty cycle set as low as possible at 10. And so we're gonna try that setting first. As long as it doesn't oscillate, I think that's what I wanna go with. I don't really care about max boost right now because I'm pretty limited. Only thing I really want this thing to do is to keep that gate closed for as long as possible. So there's a lot of benefits to this electronic boost controller, but really the main benefit is keeping the gate spring closed as long as possible. That's really the true benefit, the true beauty of this True Boost setup. Yeah, it's good that I can increase boost pressure on demand, but for me is the lack of boost lag. And the reason why you have the lack of boost lag is because the controller is putting pressure on the opposite side of that gate spring, that diaphragm, to help keep the exhaust pressure from allowing exhaust to leak through the gate. So I've kind of had this thing set differently over the couple of years I've had this. I've played around with different spring combinations. I put a different spring in here right now just for troubleshooting purposes. And like I said, I really want to get rid of this oscillation that I've been getting with the last setting that I have. I had the spring set for here on 9 PSI. And you might have noticed or heard in some of the older videos the kind of oscillation that it was having. So we drop this down to 5, and we're gonna see if it makes any difference. Yeah, no oscillation, that was good. So now that it's not oscillating, if I really want to increase the boost, that wasn't wide open throttle, but it's not going to get much higher than that. So I'll go back to program mode. That's B. Let me get back to A. Program, hold both buttons. And so I want to get to the duty cycle. So right now I have the duty cycle set as low as possible. So I'm gonna ramp that up to like 15. Small increments. That's what you want to do when you do this. So next year I'm gonna have to get a brand new timing cover. And my back rear caliper is kind of sticking. Good. I'm gonna have to go get some gas. But that's pretty cool. No oscillation with the turbo. That really only hit almost 8 psi. I can live with that. Like I say, I'm kind of limited with my my mass airflow sensor being at the limit of its range, so I can't get crazy with the boost. So I'm gonna up this spring from 5 to 6. Doing so is going to increase my max boost also. All right, yeah, so a little gas. I think that spring setting is good. We'll back down the duty cycle just a bit. There we go. There we go. Make sure 12 ain't around. Get it straight. Ah, you heard that oscillation? That wasn't my foot. So let me put that back to the 15. So we get one more good hit on this. Take it back to the crib. Hopefully this 6 with the duty cycle at 15 is the sweet spot for this. think that's it. Yeah, you can really hear that squeaking, that sound I'm talking about when the car is moving. I think that has something to do with the brakes. See, sound goes away. Squeaky noise. Gotta figure out what that is. All right, so let's give some closing thoughts on this. I think the sweet spot for this AEM True Boost is with the spring set at 5.6, 5.7 on the spring setting, and then having the duty cycle at 15. Seems like if I go a little bit higher on the spring, I get that oscillation with the turbo. And originally I had it set at 9. But going through some AEM documentations and videos, they talk about when you get that oscillation on these turbos, you back the spring value down, and you just kind of got to play with it until you find that sweet spot. So I think with this setup, like I said, at 5.7, 5.6-ish is pretty nice, and the duty cycle at 15. Now, I think max boost with this setup, I might hit 10. I don't know. I was kind of doing like maybe 3/4 throttle pulls, between half and 3/4 throttle pulls. I just kind of looked at the data real quick. My mass airflow voltage, kind of at the hardest pull, which was like 8 point something psi, it peaked at 4.60 volts on the mass airflow meter. So full wide open throttle, I probably wouldn't see much more than maybe 1 more psi. So I'll still be under 10. And I think as long as I'm under 10, I won't peg my mass airflow meter. Fuel wise, for where this car is at right now, I don't think I have any issues with the fueling. What I'm commanding is what I'm getting, and it's holding. Now I haven't done a wide open throttle pull on this car yet, just because I got these sketchy tires on there. You can kind of see the car get a little squiggly at times, but it just kind of comes back to knowing your characteristics of your car. It's just knowing when to get out of it. A lot of these people, I can't say that, you know, people lose control of their cars for numerous different reasons, but I know for me, this car will let me know when I need to take some caution. So as soon as I see that or feel that car starting to break loose in the back, I either feather it or I get out of it. So tell me what you guys think. I think right now we're at a sweet spot with the boost. I popped the hood. There's no kind of header glow whatsoever coming out of that. And like I said, I took the car out, beat up a couple of pulls, drove around a little bit, even
more than what you would see on this video, but quite happy with it. I have to figure out what that noise is coming from when the car is moving. I don't have that noise, that high-pitched noise when the car is, excuse me, I don't have that high-pitched noise when the car's at idle. So I got to figure out what that is.
All right, so quick update. This was hanging on the ground. I hope this was that noise that I was hearing.
And I don't know if it's coming from the back. I know I got a bad caliper in the rear with the Taurus caliper, so I might have to take the wheels off, inspect that. But for the most part, I think we're just ready to roll around and get some content. You know, a lot of these next videos are going to be point of view content. I can't go to the track because I've got the leak on the timing cover, which I got to fix. And but for outside of that, I might get a draggy and just start playing around with some draggy times, and that'll be my quote drag strip equivalent. So hey, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. White Sox hat, even though they suck too, I'm boycotting any kind of Bears paraphernalia until they win at least 2 games, and I don't think that's going to happen this year. But hey, like I said, I appreciate y'all rock with me. Tell a couple of people about the channel. Until next time, God bless.